Thank you very much. If you're just joining us, this is a live broadcast from the News and Current Affairs desk here on ZBCTv. My name is Curtly Gwindi, and we are currently, Ian, at the 41st graduation of the University of Zimbabwe graduates, and we do those amazing statistics. 6,084 graduates are going to be capped today.
That tells you, Curtly, that another crop of well-educated, well-trained from the University of Zimbabwe being released this year to go and change the country out there, as the graduation is running under the theme, Go Ye, Ideate, Innovate, and Industrialize for inclusive development that the country is currently running under. And we need to make sure that these graduates today, they are celebrating. We have seen the parents. When they look at you as a graduate, they see as a five-year-old child, 10 years, 15 years, everything, just the emotions, the jubilation. It all culminates to this day where they are graduating.
Most definitely, Ian. And one of the amazing things is that for some it was 5 years, for some even 6 years, for some simply a year, some 3 years. And, you know, there's a variance with regards to some of the degrees we're going to hear about and see today here on ZBCTv. And of particular interest is, you know, some of the degrees like engineering, some of the degrees like law, you know, where some of the students toiled. I do know that those institutions, you would go use it, sleep in the library, and at times, you know, it's some sweet moments like today, you know, you can simply say all paid off.
You have to celebrate, Curtly. Just talking of the language that is used by these graduates. When you call, they say Yubas and Yusas.
And the Mayuba and Mayusa.
They are graduating today after all the sleepless night, like he's saying, late submission of assignment, dissertation, everything that culminates to even the late submission of it. You remember the Euphorus? Testing the plagiarism.
Absolutely.
And they are celebrating today because they have managed to overcome all the obstacles.
I think for some, you can say it's Turnitin, if they didn't know what the Euphorus system was. And, you know, some of the things that some of these students will be nostalgic about, also looking at some of the things within the residence facilities. You know, there was that inter-res. You know, that
where
engagement.
Boys get to visit girls.
Boys get to visit girls, you know. You know, it makes a whole person to be able to have, you know, interaction with the opposite sex. And that's something that we were instituting here at the University of Zimbabwe. And as former students ourselves, we engage in extracurricular activities, Ian. We do know we're part of some of the social clubs that also make a whole student. So today is not just about the education. We're also celebrating, you know, we're actually at the stadium. And I do remember this very track that we were standing on. I used to run on it. I used to run on it, and it's the whole student, like we say, because you know, this University of Zimbabwe offered facilities and services that created a whole student, and perhaps that is the emphasis today.
Talking of the facility in creating a whole student, I do know that they do have what they call the Disability Resource Center, where people with disabilities do get to learn for free for an undergrad. Just imagine, I am here today because I'm a product of that. Of the UZ and of the DRC. So this means that it's an initiative which is meant to ensure people with disabilities are not left behind. They give you facilities, they give you residence, they give you tuition, you don't pay for anything, and that's UZ for you. Just to take you back, talking about all the experiences. UZ is literally a country within a country. Your own security. We used to call them the GBs.
On a lighter moment. The GBs who dress in green and, you know, quote-unquote green bombers.
So I hope we won't be chased away by the GBs on our way out, because they still know our faces.
Most definitely they know our faces as we were getting in. They were still very excited to be seeing us. And yes indeed, the University of Zimbabwe is most definitely an exciting place to be. And all these students and graduates that you see behind us have come together to make sure that they have
mashap mangono mapanda okwezongororo baba paya makatitsitsa mukati munhu munne munhu iko zvino nhasi chiregai tikutambirei ini soko tiregai vakutambirei ivo vana tembo vakwasha vedu regai ivo vana mamoyo vakutambirei vakurova mhururu nemuritso chiregai iko zvino izvi tikutambirei baba tinokutambirai shumba tinokutambirai murambwe tinokutambirai imi vanopaumba nekuomba zvinonyaradza masango kuti ziro vabapa chikuro vane zenze mutindikwa rinoreva chakara chesango, vanochembera vachida dzidzo, chana chamasvingo, vana murambazhara vakadzidzisa vanhu timba ugute, soro jena, isiya kwamukela wena Boaz, wena mhlato ngehlulwa thambo, iti wena Dauduna. Nasi baba topembedza mabasa enyu, tichinobuda hwedza kotomukamba neBhanabhasi makuru muresasike doro amurambida bheshi nafukwashidora. Tichataura, tichaleveleka, tichabhuya, tichayambula. We will speak tichiwanana, hakuna uchasara, nokuti ini nemi 2030 tichipo. Zvino handiziva mapfumo, nokuti mapfumo ipfumo ramakagadza nemoyo changamire. Rine njere dzinopinza samapfumo matanhatu. Hero nhasi rapakatisa vana dzidzo ye5.0 yamakamupakatisa weimichamangwiza. Nhasi toyangarara semashura murove, nyika yoenda mberi, toti the great Zimbabwe ine dzitsi rechivandiriro pova nerebezo yenyanyiso baba. Zvino nhasi tokutambirai shumba, tinokudai murambwi, tokuisai paiko. Muhomwe hamukwane, muhapwa hamukwane, munakabiwa nematsotsi pambari. Zvino baba, vaungana vana venyu mutende rokusangana. Pavari papamusanganiswa wesadza remhime rinoti zviyo, munga, magwere, muhari imwe chete. Imomo ndimo mune vatonga vagere mhiri kwamosi yatunya, varindiri vechitubu chenduri. Imomo ndimo mugere vazezuru vana venyu baba, vanotanda nondo vasingatyi makana kureba. Imomo ndimo munana chihera vane mashoko anonaka mazuva ose akazorwa mudzi wokutapira baba. Imomo ndimo mune vabuje vekwamutoko vamakadzidzisa tsika nenduramo baba. Vazhinji vari umwe vakaranga, the brains behind the great Zimbabwe ruins. Vashangani vantevere marudzi ose ari pano baba, as one people we've all come together. Our chancellor, tinokutambirai, vene ndianiko, veno ndivava, vene ndini, vene tisu, nhasi tovaka nyika yedu baba. Your Excellency.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I declare this congregation of the 41st graduation ceremony of the University of Zimbabwe duly constituted as a graduation ceremony.
The Director of Ceremonies, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, and Chancellor of the University of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the Honorable Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Professor Dr. Amon Morguya, and other ministers who might be here present, the Chairman of the Public Service Commissions, Dr. Vincent Ungwe or his representative, the Chief Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, or his representative, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Professor Fanuel Tagwira, and other permanent secretaries who might be here present. The Chairman of the University of Zimbabwe Council, Mr. Douglas Ohoto, the Honorable Senators and Members of Parliament who might be here present, the Chairman of the Zimbabwe Council for Higher Education, Professor Bebe in absentia, the Chief Executive Officer of the Zimbabwe Council for Higher Education, Professor Peter Kuzvinetsa Jimbo, the Vice Chancellors from other sister universities or their representatives who might be here present, members of the University of Zimbabwe Council, University of Zimbabwe Acting Pro-Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Professor Florence Mtambanengwe, the Executive Director for Quality Assurance and Professional Development, Professor Chipochganda, the Librarian, Dr. Chikonzo, the Acting BSR, Mr. Precious Chitambara, the Acting Registrar, Dr. Mnyaradzi Madambi, senior government officials who might be here present, principals from University of Zimbabwe associate and affiliate colleges, the graduates, students, their guests, families, relatives and friends, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. Good morning to you all. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Chancellor of the University of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, it is my singular honor and pleasure to stand before you to address this august gathering on the 41st graduation ceremony of the University of Zimbabwe. Your Excellency, I want to start my address by making a few statements of acknowledgement. The introduction by yourself and your government of the Heritage-Based Education 5.0 philosophy as a fulcrum in the transformation of the architecture of our higher education has changed the meaning of academia and ushered in a new era in Zimbabwe's economic development landscape. Your Excellency, you have successfully developed an axis of mental sovereignty and self-belief, restored the dignity of your people, and inspired the future of our thinking as a Zimbabwean people. You have in the process inspired us as University of Zimbabwe, and there is not a greater force for development than an inspired people. Your Excellency and Chancellor, you have clearly demonstrated to us kuti munoziva, munogona uye munoita, a philosophy which is embraced by the University of Zimbabwe to anchor all its programs and achievements. As the University of Zimbabwe, we remain focused on our vision to be recognized as Zimbabwe's global center of excellence in research, innovation, and higher education training by 2035, as our contribution to the pursuit of our National Vision 2030. Only last month we conducted a strategic mid-term review to evaluate our performance as an institution and concluded that in the year under review, the university has realized many milestones and achievements. To this end, I want to thank the chairman of the Public Service Commissions who volunteered to give us a facilitator. You know, my professor ajaira ku facilitator, ana ujaira ku facilitator. So, Your Excellency, we humbled ourselves with all those professors to be guided on how to align our strategic objectives with the national objectives.